Keep putting too much.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Sheray's getting crunk over there. Don't worry about it.
Listen, it's somebody's birthday.
Yes, so this is the second episode of my fierce birthday celebration of 2022.
Love it.
Hey, y'all, we are talking about, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Again, anyone from Korea, let me know, and I will try to fix it if we ever talk about this movie again, which we'll probably talk about it a lot, but I ain't never watching it again. But we're talking about Gonjiam Haunted Asylum. Girl.
You know I live for Korean horror. You know I do.
Scariest one we watched, though. And it could just because I'm naturally more scared of like a haunted thing than I am of like psychological. Because I feel like a lot of the other ones we've watched were haunting. I don't know. Girl, even like those stupid shows on like History Channel scare me.
Oh.
I mean, they don't scare me. They kind of creep me out. So I'm like, this isn't real. But ooh, that's kind of creepy. That's an old building. That's creepy.
That makes me look at you a different way. I see you being like, not TLC, it's too late. And it's like, one of the things I noticed when I hit play on this, because I go into things not knowing anything, that's my whole thing, is I've never seen, at least I don't think I've ever seen, international found footage movie, which is weird, because I've seen a few found footage. They're not really my cup of tea, but I'm not like anti them. I watch them, but I've never seen one from a different country. And I think that heightened it just because like I'm already trying to train myself to read subtitles, but also shaky cam, but also shit popping off. And so I was like, oh, this is a little bit of anxiety. I like it.
I love a good found footage film. There's a lot of not so good found footage films, but when you find a good one, they're fucking fantastic because they suck you in and you feel like you're there with the actors, you know.
Have you seen the one I've been recommending on YouTube? I just forgot the name of.
No, I need to though. I saw your post about it. I was like, I need to watch that.
Listen, no, like she decided to not be dead anymore, and that's where the movie starts. And I'm just like, mood. Mood.
I don't feel like this anymore. Bye.
Right, I tried it. I'm not gonna buy it.
That's pretty much every person in this asylum for this movie.
Listen.
I'm just gonna be naked in real life now. But I thought it was really interesting going into the film that they had that preface that said basically that like, this is not real. Any associations you can make about this or aren't intended or whatever. And then I found out in my brief research about this that upon the release of the film into theaters in South Korea, the owners of the actual this is based on an actual psychiatric hospital, y'all.
Yep.
They didn't make this shit up. This is an actual thing.
They didn't make the place up.
Right.
Yeah. I was like,
Right. It has now been demolished, so it's no longer a place. You can't go to it. Sorry about it. But the owner of that building at the time was trying to sell it and sued the filmmakers because they thought that this would hurt their ability to sell the building. And I think that's probably why they put that little preface there to be like, hey, we ain't trying to get nobody, we ain't trying to get sued, y'all.
Especially because it was popular. According to the same Wikipedia page you probably are reading. Hi, y'all. This was like the third most watched Korean horror film in 2018 after Tale of Two Sisters, which I love, and Phone, which I need to watch immediately. Because if this is third to Phone on the list with Tale of Two Sisters, I'm going to get my best scared life.
Yes. Y'all know we covered A Tale of Two Sisters this past summer, right? Some summertime.
December. It was December.
Oh, not summertime.
What was you doing in December, Trent?
Living my best life. Yeah, anytime we go into a haunted asylum, I just know I am going to be like this for 60% of the movie.
Like, the fact that we were going into haunted asylum is all I knew because the title. I didn't know anything else. So I hit play and I was like, what has happened? And it escalated so quickly. Like
But I also liked that we got to know. So going back just a minute to you talking about this being one of the few found footage foreign films that we've watched on the show. I actually really enjoyed that the two combos because I didn't have to be so stuck on the subtitles because a lot of the dialogue is, "Oh no, what was that? We're in danger! Run!"
Slurp, 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 slurp.
It wasn't a lot of like really dense dialogue, so I really kind of like it. Helped me be able to kind of be emotionally more invested. But at the top of the film, I do like that we get time before we get to the asylum to get to know these characters because I think if we didn't get that, I wouldn't care. Because like going in, I knew Charlotte was a dancer. I knew and probably Charlotte's going to be the only name that I probably get correct in this episode. Apologizing in advance. Charlotte was a dancer. Yan is a nursing student, and June, she never tells us what she does. I'm assuming she's a filmmaker because she's got the camera at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys already kind of know each other. Also want to shout out to my South Korean beautiful men because every man in this whole movie could get it. I need to move to Korea. Let's go. Right. What are we waiting for?
Listen, I keep seeing the rhetoric online and I don't understand because we've yet to like leave this country and not find hot men. And I'm just like, this needs to be a travel podcast. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. Where y'all at?
Yes. But no, South Korea listeners, you gotta hit us up because we're here for you.
Right. If you got a couch, I'm gonna find a way. This could be a nightmare on your street if you play your cards right.
Yes, but yeah, I did really like that we got fun. We got to have fun with these characters before all the shit started happening.
I think it was just the right amount of time because a lot of movies overdo it. Like I'm always saying, the first 10-20 pages is usually like, yeah, it's play on the phone, get the drinks time. But this one, it was like, here's just enough to get you started, and now let's get into this shit. Because we overweight two teenagers in the space, and it's not ending well for them.
I even checked, and I was like, oh, okay, I wonder what time we're at. I'm thinking it would be like a third of the way through the movie, and I was like, oh shit, we've only been 18 minutes, and we're already into the asylum.
I love Korean horror and I love Korean dramas because they don't waste our time. They are like, hi, we're going to do this. Are you coming with us? And I'm like, yes.
But so
the two teams up top were just like cannon fodder.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they have to, they introduce, because that's why they're going to that, right? They see that video on YouTube or whatever.
And he wanted to prove it wasn't a hoax. And he did. He proved it was not a hoax.
Okay, but the geography of this building, and I know that they actually were not able to shoot inside of inside the asylum that they wanted to. So what they did is they studied the ground plan of the asylum or the psychiatric hospital and shot inside of an old abandoned high school, I think is what the Wikipedia said.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really a clever way to make sure you're still being accurate to your what's the word I'm looking for? Your source, your y'all, I've only had one drink. This is my first drink today. Okay, I promise. Maybe that's my problem. I haven't had any drinks yet.
Right, you too sober for this.
But so I thought that was really smart. But the way they got into this building already discombobulated me, and so I think that also helped because there's so much mindfuckery that happens in this movie. Like for one, when June and Charlotte they get out of the building supposedly. They ain't out the building because they see them panties twice.
Listen.
But June looks down and the stuff from the lab is on the floor and the ground, and then suddenly they're not there anymore, and June's possessed, going
the Slurpees are just okay. So like I was like, this ain't gonna end well for them, but I appreciate them trying to like make a break for it. And then she turns around and her friend's like, and I'm like, oh no. And then she's back and she's in a basement with a naked man. And she's like, oh no. And she keeps moving the flash. I'm like, you need to leave the light on this naked man. I think that is your bigger concern right now. But she's not listening to me, obviously. And so, like, when she finally, like, turns one time too many, turns back, and her friend is there slurping again, and I'm just like, it was the most effective use of anything I've ever fucking seen in my life because I'm just like, I don't like it. This is the devil's image. Get it out of the brain.
And the beauty of it is literally she just has a light shining up in her face, like Blair Witch style, and just the way she's moving her face.
There may be some contacts or something because like the eyes got
that's
bigger.
true.
But it was minimal. It was not like let's CGI everything.
Right.
And I love that because I'm here for a practical. If you could put some contacts on a bitch and have her give me some nightmares, let's do that. What?
Right.
It's cheaper, it's quicker, it's more efficient, it's gonna age better.
And like the one thing that I will get, Charlotte was the girl I was rooting for the whole time. So when she started going down, I was like, oh no, ain't nobody gonna live.
I knew better because it was a found footage movie, and once that was established, I was like, you was all dead.
Right. But I did see the moment that I was like, you go, but you know what? That's smart. When that dude was like, let's just pick up this doll and see what happens. She was like, don't you fucking you're what? And she just ran away. She said, I'm out, I'm done.
No, one of the things I like about this movie is that most of the characters made smart choices. Like the girls who tried to make a run for it. That's what I would have done if I had gone there, which I wouldn't have. But had I found myself in this asylum with these people, I would have been like, it's time to leave, right? Let's go.
If they chloroformed me and I woke up inside this asylum.
If I was drugged there against my own will, I would be like, how do I get out? And I also didn't feel like we were exploiting mental illness in a way that happens a lot in America. Because if America listens to Asylum, it's going to be some shit and some essays. And the Korea was like, let's just do it. But we're going to go because of the history. We're not going to go and then be like disrespectful and assholes about it.
Well, what was really interesting, they didn't dive too far into they dived enough into the history to get us tense and to get us kind of on edge. But they didn't go so far to go into detail about like, these are the mental illnesses that we're trying, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Instead, we don't know. Because at one point they talk about, is it haunted because it was built on top of unmarked graves? Is it haunted because this woman killed a whole bunch of people there? Is it haunted because of patients that were there? Or was this a prison, like a war prison? They don't really know. They just know it's fucking haunted.
And those are spicier than what America does in these situations where it's like mental illness, ha ha ha. And punches. I hate the phrase punches down. I need to find another phrase. But like it's better and it's cleaner because like we all understand ghosts. We all understand haunted. And it's better if we don't have all the details. Again, I'm of the camp of I don't need to know why Michael Myers kills his sister as a child. I just need to know he does it. So I can be afraid and on the lookout for him. I don't need to be like, well, in the psyche veil. Like, and this one time his sister took his Capri Sun. And I'm like, no, that lessens it. Just stabbies and move on. Let's get it started.
Because not knowing it makes it scarier,
Again, the strangers, because you were home. Simple, clean. I'm invested.
Yeah. So, okay, Sharai, I got a question for you. Let's say.
I don't have an answer.
Let's say in a hypothetical world, you got chloroformed and you woke up in this tent with these people. And you're like, okay, I don't know where they're going, but I ain't gonna stay here by myself. So you follow them. You're in the woods and you see some white, frilly panties hanging on a tree. What do you do?
I'm gonna run harder. I'm gonna run faster.
The opposite direction. Right. I'm not gonna be like, well, this is interesting. We'll just use this as a place marker.
Listen.
Tie it to a tree.
I don't understand. And I'm a sucker for some like ghost hunters on some bullshit who are phony and fake. I love that. Some of my favorite movies on Shudder, one of them now, starts off that way with we're running scams on people, ha ha ha, and they run into the real shit. But again, I don't understand a world in which we're like, let us stay here, nobody knows shit's fucked up. Let us.
Right, and they kind of hint that they're doing that at the top because they said that they've planted the ritual that they do with the little bells or whatever. They planted that. they also planted the doll. Okay, that's fine. What about these doors slamming? What about the hair in the ceiling? Did you see that? What the fuck was that? They never explained that.
Because they can't. Once the things are no longer in your control, you must leave. And that's one of the ways I do really feel that, like, was it Jiwoon?
June and
leader?
Charlotte are the ones that run.
Yeah. He definitely was like, all 6 of my people are in this shot. Who's recording this? And then he didn't run. And I was like, good sir.
He
what
ran
happened?
to the asylum. That's the only thing we know.
I can't help you once I count all of y'all. And I know somebody else is recording this shit. And
I would get on my little speaker and say, y'all need to leave. I will meet you at this city that's 30,000 miles away.
No, the van is leaving now. If you can catch me, a door is open on the right. Like,
or when his hot plate or the cooking thing like burst into flames.
Listen, it was, if they were all so smart, and then he was like, what if I do the dumb thing? And I was like, for whom?
But and then the hand pulling. Why did she put her hand in there again?
I would never put my hand in anything haunted, just so we're all clear. If you catch me in a haunted space, I'm not being like, what's in here?
I would never put my hand in anything, period. But like, unless I knew exactly what was inside of it.
I mean, small towns are small towns. People get into things. I'm not trying to knock nobody's shit. I'm just saying I would not be in a haunted asylum putting my hands in things.
Into old like torture boxes.
I don't understand. I do not.
I did like the old timey pictures. That was the cool thing.
Those are cute.
Those were creepy is what I would say. I don't know if I would say cute, but whatever your aesthetic is your aesthetic.
You know what? I'm getting my own space. I'm going to decorate, and we'll just see what happens.
But yeah, it was interesting because they say it when they look at the picture of like the group picture of the main lady and all the patients. And they say at first it seems just like a normal group photo. But then you notice that everyone besides her is looking somewhere else other than the camera.
Right.
And she's the only one looking at the camera, which is terrifying.
Right? I'm just like, all these ghosts was in this photo. But also, how you take pictures of ghosts? I don't know. Questions.
And why you frame it? These are my ghost family.
Look at all the ghosts we got. Like, I know, this is not.
It's like 13 ghosts. They're trying to capture all these ghosts.
More like 31 ghosts. It was a lot in that photo. It was a lot.
And then none of them would be no naked man.
No, it was like the cast of Hamilton. It was a good sized group. Like,
I saw Lin-Manuel there somewhere.
Right? Looking a different direction as well. And I was like, everybody haunted. Like, send out the V-digs and shut it down.
Right.
Listen, I don't want to spend too much time on this because like this is probably not the only movie, but because I had to like read it instead of being able to listen and bullshit. Like it really bothered me when the white text of the closed captions were on like these white outfits. Because one of the teens up top, like dressed like a Backstreet Boy from the 90s. And you know what? That's his right. I'm not out here making up fun of the youth. I'm just saying, I've seen this look before on TRL. And so like when the text was on him, I kept missing what was being said. Granted, they were about to be murdered. And so I understood enough without reading it. But it just made me wonder, like, if people who actually need to rely on subtitles and closed captions for life run into that quite often. And I wish there was a way we could change the font color sometimes. Which
on Prime, at least on the PlayStation, you could put a highlight thing bar on the back of it. Because I was watching it on Prime.
I watched her on Shudder.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing is, though, I do wish that streaming services in general, really everyone, not just streaming services, anyone, paid more attention to subtitles. Because there's so many times that it's wrong, paraphrased.
Squid Game.
even like English stuff, like English to English, I've noticed it like completely wrong. Not what they said at all.
one of the things that's been sending me lately is when we're watching a movie and it's an American and the closed captions are on because they're on all the TVs now. And they'll just be like speaking Spanish. And I'm like, but what are they saying? And so I have to hope that I'm watching it with a friend who speaks the language. Like when I'm watching a movie on Clubhouse with Jazz and they do speak Spanish, I'm like, what? Huh? And Jazz is a Spanish teacher. And so she's like, they just called their mother a dummy. I don't know why we couldn't just say that.
We have subtitles on for a reason. Because,
right?
there's so many people in this world that, even if you know the language the film's in, are hard of hearing or deaf or, for whatever reason, can't hear it and need to have the subtitles.
And sometimes it just helps you pick up things because we were watching a movie that we're going to announce in the next one. And I never caught a line she said because I could never see it. But when I saw it, like, oh, that's what she said in there? That's not what I heard. And most of us, if we can, don't want to have it dubbed by American actors because like we always do it wrong. And it's like Wesker from Resident Evil, and it's like I'm a surfer in an asylum, and it takes out all of the tension. But like if there was a way to see it in different colors, and I know that's I feel like such a caring saying that because again, I am able to hear. I just know another language because I went to school in America and was homeschooled by bumpkins, so I only speak the one language. Right. But I could better myself because I'm living for Korean horror and learn a couple phrases. But I just also think of people who maybe have to rely on those because it was hard and it kept because I was like, I don't know what just was that a key moment, and then they were dead. So I was like, I guess not.
Yeah. I do think it's important to have both options available because like for the population that I work with, a lot of them can't read either, so they need like a dub situation to help. So, and also there's voice actors out there that need work. Just cast them better.
I don't understand why we make them read that way because it's across the board. Whenever I see something dubbed, because I was watching Under the Shadow on Netflix, and for some reason it skipped to the dubbed version, and it was very much like, we're at war, and I'm a woman going to the... And I'm like, stop. And I like paused, like, I can't watch this, is what we're doing. And I found the original audio and subtitles. And I don't know why we make them do that, because I know that, like, is it sort of like when we were in theater, if you're reading against somebody who's auditioning, you have to be, like, blank? Because I hate that. Especially when we have voice actors who can do the voice acting.
There's so many out there that are fantastic.
And it'd be a really cool way of employing people of color, especially for these movies that we're getting from like Korea and other places, because you can find actors who are also descendants of that, as opposed to being like, hey, 3 Chads in a trench coat, come knock this out for me.
Right. Well, especially in a movie like this that you had, there was some English like put into this film as well. Like Charlotte spoke in English a lot. And I think that was to make her character seem just more, to give more detail to her character. It seemed like she was a little more influenced by Western culture with being a dancer and probably traveling with her dance troupe a lot. And, going by Charlotte and not by a typical name from South Korea. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I with you. People need to work on their subtitles and their dub work.
Yeah. One of the things I hate is when we get a screener and there's no closed captions, and it's also a quiet one because sometimes audio is just not it. Because we get a lot of indie screeners, like we're a DIY podcast, that's no secret. Right. And so people are like whispering. I'm like, what is being said? Is it sexy or scary? I don't know. and then you got to turn around and do a review on it, and you're like, I think that the dialogue might be fine.
Yeah, or you're like, that scene with those two actors where it was so sexy, and the filmmaker's like, that's their parents. You're like, oh, never mind, so sorry. Read that wrong.
Listen, make it more clear. Stop casting hot parents. Like, and so I don't know, but I think that there needs to be something, because like if I'm struggling, then I can only imagine people who have to rely on this. Be like, what did I just? So
yeah, for sure. But like I said though, with this movie, the subtitles didn't really bother me. Like you were saying earlier, there was no like with those two dudes at the beginning. If you missed a line, you weren't like, what is going on?
Right?
I don't understand. Whereas like Tale of Two Sisters, I missed like a couple lines and I lost a whole.
You came with a different movie and it's like, Trent, that is not Oh, that's a fun episode. So I was like, oh no, the hush is for this. This was in the hush.
Oh.
I was like, what movie was you watching?
I missed a few lines, you know, with a really dense script like that. If you do, I mean, it'd be like if you missed a few lines of like The Shining. Well, that's a bad one.
We could do better. Let's
It
workshop
follows.
this analogy.
You
Yeah,
missed a
let's
few
do that.
lines of like you didn't understand what that monster was. You're a little like, what is going on?
Right?
People be fucking everywhere, and then some people get followed.
I can't even imagine missing the top half of It Follows, just seeing people fuck sadly and being like, what is this? Why does nobody enjoy sex in this world?
But yeah, no, this one was so fun though. The pacing was fantastic. The minute they get into the woods, even I'm already creeped out. The camera's like busted up, and and I kept being like, "Is my internet going off? What is going on?" But it was the movie.
As a rule, I'm that bitch. It's like the Blair Witch did this. Stay out the woods with your found footage. I will give this and the Blair Witch the credit for going into the woods because they made it scary. Most of the rest of us need to stop because we're all like, ooh, shake a cam. And I'm like, we've seen this movie, Chad. We've seen this movie. And he's like, no, I'm an artist. Ooh. And I'm like, stop. Intervention.
Truly. Just let's set it in the city.
Go to grandma's attic. It wasn't in the attic anyways. Let's just start there. Just be like, clean out her treasure trove and oh no.
Done. Ah, shit.
Right?
Now I'm out.
Because we go end up in there anyways. Because God love a found footage, but we're always in an attic somewhere.
Right. So for like the lore of this movie, once they go into this asylum, do you think they're trapped in there?
Oh yeah. I think the second they went through, it was done and dead.
Yeah. Because like I said, the girls try to escape, and they are in the woods because they see them damn panties tied. And, but then suddenly they're not in the woods. Surprise.
I think the ground, specifically the place surrounding, like maybe the first, I don't know how many feet, it's like some other universe or some purgatory situation. And once you're in, you're in. There's no coming back, which is why I don't know how people are getting the footage, but also found footage that have a plot hole or two somewhere. It's kind of look like ghosts. My brain can sleep at night.
Right. It's got to be like they were found. Well, because the two boys, they weren't found, but their video
it was being live streamed too this time. I don't know about those two boys, but like what this group was doing was being live streamed. I can see somebody being like, I'm going to record this bitch because people are the worst.
I mean, truly. No. But and then there was also like girls at one point that snuck in. They were talking about at the beginning that they found 3 of them passed out the next day, and 2 of them woke up and killed themselves, I think.
Yeah.
And the other one like never woke up or something like that.
And I want more of their story because like not to be that bitch, but usually when we get films together, we're not out here stumbling around looking for ghosts and shit. We're like doing other things. This is just not what I usually see films get into. And I'm not trying to knock it because some of them got hobbies. I'm not lying. I just, for the most part, we're not like, hey girl, hey, grab your bag. I got a haunted place over here. We should check out.
Right. I mean, to be fair, it seemed like Charlotte was kind of into that ghost hunting stuff.
Yeah.
Because she was the one that she'd been to 2 of the other CNN listed freakiest places or whatever.
Yeah. Like a lot of us are into it, but we don't typically go there ourselves. Because I'll sit here and scroll through TikTok all day and be like, don't go in there. Ooh, But like, I'm not like, fuck brunch. Put the muffins down. Let's get in this graveyard. And I don't know. Maybe that's where me and my like circles are failing. I can't relate.
I don't know that I would call it a failure as much as just 2 different lifestyles.
Right? Like we try to do brunch places. That's how we get adventurous. Like we went somewhere that wasn't bottomless. We learned our lesson. We're not out here stumbling around in purgatory on a Sunday. That is the mimosas day.
Truly.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What did you think? So I got a little bit confused towards the end once they were all separated because you had Charlotte and Jiyun trying to escape. Then you had
Slurpees.
That was Slurpee, yeah. She
Yeah,
was with
Slurpees.
Charlotte.
I can only see her Slurpees, and I want nothing but the best for this actor because like that was terrifying. Just like slurp, 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 slurp.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Park Ji-yu. They use their same names, which is easy for us. Except Charlotte. Charlotte's actual name is Moon Yi Wong, playing Charlotte.
I also love when found footages do that to fuck with people, and they're like, let's just use the actors' real names, because some of them know who they're casting when they write it, and some of them are just like, man, let's just go this.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was talking about this on Twitter yesterday with Alma from Fifth Street, and I was like, girl, when I watched Blair Witch for the first time, my ass thought that was real.
You love to believe in stuff. Like you were.
I was like 12, to be fair.
Even of last year though, Trent, I'm like, Trent, this is not the tea, Trent. Like, look at your sources. And you're like, no, I want to believe. And I'm like, you are definitely the Mulder and I am the Scully. You want to believe. And I'm like, pump the brakes.
I listen to Cher too much. I want to believe in life after love.
Listen, and you do, girl. What you do.
But yeah, no, I was the one that I was like completely like into Blair Witch was real until I found out it wasn't real. Because this was also before internet. Because now you can just be like,
I was always that bitch. Because we didn't have computer. Because again, Breaks Like Pumpkins in Missouri. So like, who wants knowledge there? And so I remember seeing the commercials and they're like, based on a true story or real footage. I'm like, if it's real, how you get it? If it's real, why these actors on this red carpet? If it's real, and so it can never be me.
I only watched it at home on home video.
Listen, we rented it because it hit Hollywood Video. Not to date myself a little bit. It hit Hollywood Video when I was a baby, and so
mine was Movie Gallery. It's fine. We'll just do it.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I miss Blockbuster. I'm not really going anywhere now because of the whole COVID thing. But like, I miss Blockbuster. I miss Hollywood Video. Like, I miss being able to like take myself out for dinner and then go pick up a movie and then go home and watch it and be like, that was shit, and then take it back.
Yes, completely agree. Because when I at Blockbuster and like Hastings and Movie Gallery, anytime they had their like pre-owned movie sales, I would come home with stacks of movies I bought for like $3 a piece.
There's something about it. It's just a romantic time. I feel like I look at video rental places the way some people look like love letters. Like, because now people are just like, I sent you a DM. You up or no? And some people are like, I miss the romance. I miss the language. And I think that's how I look at Hollywood Video. I'm just like, I miss it.
There's still one Blockbuster in the country that's still open.
I want to go. I think it's one of those places I'm not supposed to go after night though. So I need to like look at the maps to make sure.
Oh, okay. I have no idea where it is.
Because it's somewhere very quaint. That's how I like to say it. It's a quaint place. Okay. I don't know if I'm safe there. So I need to see.
Fair points. I may not be either, so we might need to look into that.
It's America 2022.
Right.
I'm afraid to leave my hallway.
Bungalow sisters. Yeah.
Right? Every day.
I am glad this movie was only an hour and a half. My heart would not have taken it any longer. Because let me tell you, okay, the first 20 minutes is the fun, get to know the characters business. Then you have about 40 minutes of setup of like getting to walking the woods and setting up the tent, telling the story of the asylum, getting into the asylum, hitting the tone of the asylum. So then that last 30 minutes, though, is just shit hitting the fan constantly. You don't get a break. There is no, like, it's like the last 10 minutes of Paranormal Activity 1 stretched to, like, 20 minutes.
Why would you remind me of that? I gotta watch that in a couple of weeks.
I'm not ready.
Again, I am not the biggest fan or hater of found footage because like I have friends who like go up for most of them, and I have friends who are in love with the subgenre as a whole, and I have friends who are like it's all trash. I am usually indifferent, which is why I love like Godforsaken shook the fuck out of me when I watched it this year, and I love like the first couple Paranormal Activities. And there's been other ones I'm not thinking of right now because like I don't sit here with a list. I'm not letterbox. And so but like I think that this is definitely in my top 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't think about what the other 5 might even be anymore right now. Because I'm still with Slurpee McSlurperson.
I'm telling you, I saw that GIF before watching this movie, and when that shot comes on, I was like, I finally found it!
I never want to find it. Don't send it to me. I don't want it.
The Slurpee face.
No. Because she was just like, slurp, slurp, slurp. Like, stop it. And she's like, slurp, slurp, slurp. Stop it. And they brought her back. I was like, no. She's the most upsetting part of the movie. I hope she was paid extra.
And the guy, the monster thing that at the
Naked Man?
Not that. Well, it might have been. He might have been the Naked Man, but this isn't the girl. He's not with Charlotte. He killed. It's the last dude that's still alive. I don't remember which one it was, but he appears like right here on his neck and he like grabs him. Ooh.
No, I don't like things coming up behind people. I know how that sounds because I watch a lot of slashers, but I don't like that because.
Same.
Clearly, you can't see behind you. We've not evolved to have eyes in the back of our heads yet, and so like I want to be able to see what is happening. I want to see the danger, so I can better like adjust. And you can't really adjust for somebody just coming up and being like, "What?"
Right. Yes, and that part is just so scary because it's also part where they start putting hands on people's faces.
No. Especially in the year 2022 of our Lord COVID, we're not supposed to put your hands on your face. I was like, you don't know where them hands is being. You don't know what you're catching. Is it flu season? What?
Well, this came out in 2018, so like right before they got lucky.
No, like, and again, that's just the times we're living in. Like, so putting your hand in someone's face is basically a fight. We are not doing well in year 3 of this mess. And so, like, that's fine. I wish somebody would. I would be like, of course I hit them. They put their hand in my face where all of these exposed airways are, and I have to go to the doctor now, and that's a whole ordeal. Like,
I think, you know what, I was just thinking about this. In that moment where Charlotte sees the Naked Man and he's just standing there, she has nowhere to go, so she can't flight. I kept thinking I would just run and tackle this dude.
That's just it. He's dead. So like he's gonna win eventually.
I mean, he's gonna kill me eventually anyway. So I'm going to go down on my own terms. Trying.
I respect that. I was trying to figure out what I would do because she kept moving the light away from him, and I would never do that. I would never.
She was trying to open a door that she was right next that because she got transported somehow.
Yeah.
So the whole time. For those of you that haven't seen the movie, if you haven't, we're already spoiled it all for you anyway. So, but the whole time there's this room. It's on the 4th floor that supposedly, if you open it, you're cursed to die. And no one's ever opened it since the hospital closed. So anyway, she gets transported inside of that room because she's trying to open the door while this naked man's killing her, and the other people on the other side of the door are seeing the doorknob move and hearing her screaming. So I'm like, that was so crazy.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, because I was in this room with her, and she had her flashlight. People who can't see us, like if you're listening to this on Anchor, you were just like, the fuck is happening? People who are watching, they're like, they are not good minds. But like, you have her with her flashlight and the naked man, and there's space between the two of them. And she like does one of those to angle the flashlight to see it out, and she finds the out, the door to her right, and she puts it back on the naked man. And instead of her feeling her way across this wall to the door, she keeps moving the flashlight to the door to see it. And like, bitch, it ain't moved. What? And after she does it, I'm like, the naked man's gonna get you. This naked man gonna get you. And then what happened? He rendered her naked and twisted up. After Slurpees shows up again. And I'm like, I don't know what's worse. Slurpees letting you know you're about to die, or I'm just running at you. But this is too much.
Slurpee.
It was sensory overload. I was like,
the last 20 minutes is very much sensory overload. I had to pause and give myself like a 5-minute break of like, I just had to relax a little bit.
I watched this early this morning because I could not get it together to sit still long enough. And I was like, I'm happy I'm doing this while I'm still semi-sleepy because this is too much adrenaline, and I would not want to be fully awake or drunk for this because
it is so much. And there's so many things. Ugh. I still want to know what that damn hair is in the foot
listen,
of the ceiling.
so much happened.
Because they find the hair or later in the pool. Like, well, hey, what was that pool? Hey, what is this pool doing in this high school they're filming in?
I mean, some high schools have swim meets.
It wasn't that big though, girl. It was like a little circle. It's like a hot tub.
You know what? I've not ever been to a real high school, so I was just out.
And I don't know. I mean, maybe maybe they got hot tubs in their high schools in Korea. Let me know. If so, I'm going back to high school and going to Korea so I can be in a hot tub. Maybe
production put it there because like the Asylum had one.
Right, that's probably it.
Yeah, because I can see that. I've never been to an Asylum either. Like I'm very uncultured.
I mean, yeah, my only like experience in asylums are like American Horror Story and House on Haunted Hill, the remake. And they had and it looked like one of those like where you put the people in the water and submersion therapy. That's what it looked like.
I mean, back in the day, science was about torturing people. Like, so I could definitely see that being a holdover because, like, I have heard tales about things they did to women here. And 100%. It ain't cute. Most of it ain't cute. I mean, one of them worked out because, like, it was like, how do you cure hysteria? But the rest of them, I'm just like, y'all just hated women. Like,
100%.
The chainsaw. You really thought that was the way?
Yeah. Thank God things have gotten a little better since then.
I don't know. I can't say yay or nay. I just show up every day.
That's fair. Fair point. But there were a couple times with the sound effects in this movie, I thought it was a chainsaw, and I was like, "Who got chainsaw with this bitch?" What?
The soundscape was not okay. It was very Silent Hill. I did not appreciate it because they were playing survival horror games with me, and I did not want that on top of that. And Slurpee, and it was too many things. I can't wait to go back in, but it was too many things.
I can't go back in, not for a long time at least.
Oh, I gotta
give my heart time to recuperate. I might have a heart attack.
I'm gonna have another couple of vodka lemonades and be like, guess what I'm doing, Trent?
Slurpee, 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 slurpee.
Slurpee, slurpee, slurpee. Happy birthday, slurpee, slurpee, slurpee.
Oh, there's something else I was going to ask you. Oh, so, okay. The guys have told the audience, not the girls yet, and one of the dudes, but the guys know that, so they're pulling some of these events, making them happen. But, like, they never said that they're making the doors slam. And I'm sorry, when doors slam, and I'm not meaning just, like, they shut. I mean, they wham! No.
It was a slam. It was a slam like you see on those NBC dramas where, like, the white girl gets upset with her mother and can slam a door in her home because it's an NBC drama. The rest of us don't get that kind of luxury in life. We'll get slammed doors in our parents' home.
No, you get that door taken off the hinges.
I didn't have my own door to slam until I was almost an adult. let alone the need to see my ass kicked that badly. But on NBC all day long, slam, 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 and it's Asylum, slam.
But I was like, why are you still in this building? You didn't make that happen. And there's no wind. If there was wind, you would have felt it.
Men are trash. Like, literally, he's sitting there, and he's like, all my little gadgets are going, what's this new shit? Oh, no, I don't know what that is. Silence. I'm getting views. And that is some men bullshit. Like, men are just trash in all the places. Like, to borrow from Zero Gravity, that old chestnut. Whenever I see men misbehaving or doing the thing that's going to hurt everybody else, I'm like, that old chestnut. Thank you for that. Same Zero.
I also found it very strange that they kept calling him Captain. Captain, are you there? Captain.
I was like, what is this?
That could be a translation thing, too. I don't know.
That or this dude, again, has things we don't know about. Because that's just so many men who love to be called shit. And it's like, no, we are not going to run this theater and everybody call you daddy. Just so we're all clear, no. We're not going to do that in this day and age. And there's like, no. Everybody else do it. And I'm like, you don't pay enough for the trauma and the therapy we're going to need if we go through with this. Like, look at your choices.
Ooh, that's just gross. Is that a true story? Just drinking. That's so gross. Ew.
Again,
Oh,
men are the gross.
poor everyone. I don't know.
No, the
It,
state of everything.
the
Where's
real
that movie? The
war of the
state of
world.
everything. Everything, everywhere, all at once is awful. Like,
I did like that the head person of the hospital was a woman and not a man. So that if it is her haunting the place or her who has caused the haunting by killing a whole bunch of people,
right?
that just always goes against the grain, and I enjoy that.
Again, every time we go to Korea, we get to see women have real jobs and real agency, even if they're already dead. It's not an American thing because, like, we have that here where she was like running this bitch, and it's probably the real villain we don't know about. And we have the one with the exorcist, where his mother was an exorcist who died, and I just forgot the name of it.
The closet.
Thank you, thank you. Because we don't get that here. Like in America, women can't be exorcists and they can't run a hospital apparently, unless they're Meredith Grey. So like one every 59 years. I guess.
I enjoyed that. Oh God, it's so scary. Anyone out
It was
there, if you have
chaos.
not watched this movie and you've listened to this podcast, we've already spoiled it for you. But I don't. I had to, girl. I seriously had to pause a few times just because I was gonna have a heart attack. It was so scary.
I wanted to pause it, but also I knew I had to like find a
Just
bra,
get
dust
through
it
it.
off, get my hair together, and I was like, I don't have time to pause nothing, because like this is the most upright I've been in so long.
Just gotta beast through it.
Listen, but I was the whole time. Look, the first time Slurpee popped up, I felt my face, and so I know that I showcased fear, but I did the awkward laugh because I heard it, and so like I was terrified, and I was terrified about what was happening with me. That's not a reaction I normally have because normally I'm just like, this is a horror movie. This is fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
But to feel my face do a thing and to hear a noise escape, and I was like, this is not okay. This is
And I
evil.
do like that you don't see. This is another found footage gem because this is I think where found footage is at its best is that you don't see the monster or the ghost or the whatever it is chasing you until the last 10-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see any ghosts until then. We saw door slam, we saw things jingle jangle, we got real weird vibes, but we didn't see anything until Slurpee Girl.
I love that because our mind gets to fuck with us in a way that like they will never be able to afford. Because like nobody's making found footage because they have an X amount of budget. Found footage is like the cheapest movie to make, which is why there's so many, and the quality is varying. And so like no one's like, we have $90 billion, let's make a found footage. And so I love that they let our imaginations fill in some of those blanks for us until they're like, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
I wish more movies would like hold out on showing us the monster. I'm with a Bob in that way because he hates to see the monster too.
I
And
agree.
if you see it too much, you get to notice things about it, like Sweetheart and the horse dolphin,
or the fog and those Party City monsters.
And you know, I think that like just let the imagination go. Let the imagination go. Like we just did It Follows earlier today. And the first scene, you don't know what's following her. You don't see it. You just see her running from it, and we believe that she is running from something serious. And then you see the work it did to her, and you're like, oh no, whatever this is bad.
Right. Well, and I also credit if you're gonna show the monster, you only need to show us a little bit of the monster, like Cloverfield. I think Cloverfield does it really well. That you only see like the tail or like an arm or something. You don't see the whole thing till the end. You know.
Cloverfield is my favorite romance. We haven't covered it on this show yet, but it's my favorite romance.
I love Cloverfield. I'm excited for us to cover it. It's one of my favorite found footage films.
I've not seen it in forever. I think I saw it once. I'm like, this is a romance, but I'm not mad about it. And people were like, we don't understand. Like, of course you don't understand.
Yeah. But yeah, I love found footage films. I think they're really they allow the filmmaker to not, like you said earlier, to not be to be their true creative selves and not have to be tied down to budget.
Right.
You know,
Right? Because you're doing it on an iPhone with 4 friends. So like and it also just teaches you how to be efficient because you don't have X amount of money to waste. And so you're not gonna make a horse dolphin and be like, we don't like it, send it back and redo it. You're gonna be like, whatever we get, we gotta use. And so like maybe it's a hand, or maybe like, oh my god, Scare Me, which it's a movie I love. But like we never see an actual thing. We see glimpses of things, we hear things, we see a hand here,
shadows. Yeah.
peanut butter there. But like you don't have a lot of money to waste, so you're not wasting it. You're using it sparingly. Yeah, and I just feel like as we do monsters in general, less is more. It should be like burlesque almost, you know. You want a little bit of an ankle there, you want a little bit of a shimmy there. You don't want a full on monster, and then you're sitting there the whole show going, "Oh, this is all it's gonna be. We can't go nowhere. We can't go nowhere else."
Exactly, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, Sheree, do you have any hot takes?
Always.
Well, let's get spicy.
Yay. So Korean horror brings it every time, and I don't know why I'm always shocked. Like we have yet to find a Korean horror film I did not love. But every time it's like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I'm really happy that I randomly came across this movie on Prime, and I was like, that looks interesting. Let's put that on the list of possibilities. And then we ended up doing it, and it's a great movie. It's terrifying. It is terrifying, and I had to take breaks. And so, if you're going to watch this, I know the movie is an hour 34, planned for an hour 45, so you can give yourself a 5 or 10 minute break here and there.
Listen, the fact you need an intermission says everything. I don't know. I feel like whenever a movie disappears or stars lies to us about it being there, we should just like fill it in with a Korean horror movie because it's gonna be a good time. And we'll be like, we know we had a theme, but things went sideways.
Right.
Here's this Korean gem that we're sure is gonna scare the fuck out of us.
Right. 100%. And yeah, so I think my hot take is why I feel like every filmmaker should make a found footage film. I feel like everyone should do that because then we get to see who you really are as a filmmaker. Because you can do it outside of a production company. You can do it on your own, and you can't say, oh well, a producer told me I had to do this or that or whatever. It's literally your vision, your money, your whatever, a couple $100, however much you're going to need, and put a film together. I think I would love to see a like J.J. Abrams do a found footage film, low budget. Do what? Oh yeah, is that J.J. Abrams?
Yeah. Oh, okay, I was like, you want another one?
Sure, I love Cloverfield.
But
you know what I mean, like a big name, like Ava DuVernay. I would love to see Ava DuVernay do a found footage film.
I mean, I think she's moved on because she's like dibbling and dabbling in serious matters, so she's probably not going to swing around for a minute to the genre unless her and Jordan Peele or Donald Glover working on something that I don't know about.
She might have a little fun left somewhere.
You know what? We all got weekends.
I love her, yeah.
Right? No, but I always think that I would like to see people do slashers because slashers are kind of like the beats you need for any horror movie because like you're gonna follow that. And if you want to layer it in with ghosts and demons and like a couple that's fighting ghosts and demons, you can. But it's your bare bones. It's your like hamburger when you go to a diner and you want to find something that they can't mess up. Like if you fuck up a slasher, well, you see nothing else you're gonna do.
Right. That's right. I agree. I found footage slasher. There you go. But
Trent and
I just think that found footage allows so much more creativity than most other kind of filmmaking concepts, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I don't know. Fuck it. But, it allows the filmmaker to make the movie they want to make. Because they don't have to have $1 million, $1 billion, whatever.
Yeah. I feel like we just have indie directors knocking it out of the park right about now because like we've been so spoiled. We've been so spoiled. The Dark and the Wicked. And so I'm here for people to get the funding to make their little like indie movies, with less studio meddling, because that's where I've been living lately. Like I'm not really about the
Or
bigger
like,
budgeted.
yeah, or like Host. Host is essentially a found footage film.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It happens on Zoom.
Right.
Everybody got an iPhone and a couple of days of practice with the practicals, and
Right.
it was there. Yeah,
And we have a great film that I will never watch again.
never,
It's so
never.
scary.
Listen.
This is at least up there for me with Host as scary content goes. Whew.
I like this more. But we will see.
This
After
is
the
a
second
funner
one.
ride, I will say. This
Yeah.
is a funner overall movie, a better overall movie. But I
Yeah.
think as far as like my heart racing and like how scared I was, whew, they're real neck and neck.
Listen, I don't know because I can't rewatch the other one just yet. But like this one, I'll rewatch it. I'll get back to us on my official ranking because I feel like she's scarier because like again, it found footage is just it's a lot of sensory overload. And so to also add Korean horror elements to it, which is also fucking just terrifying. Again, I've never seen Korea half step a horror movie. Like they've never been like, let's cut corners. They are always like whole ass or no ass. Let's go. And so I don't know. I love to see it. I love to see it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, that is our thoughts on Gonjiam Haunted Asylum. We'll be back with you at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time to cover the original Pet Cemetery from 1989. I have a really fun fact to add to that. You'll get it later.
Ooh,
yeah. Oh, and we'll be joined by my friend Saxon Whitehead, who you'll remember from last birthday weekend when he covered the babysitter Killer Queen. So we gave him a much better movie this time.
Oh yeah, no, we owed him a different movie.
We gave him the original Pet Cemetery. I think we gave him a good movie. We'll get there. But yeah, so join us then. We'll continue to celebrate. That'll be our last one for my birthday. And yeah, I think that's all I need to say, right? You have covered
That's it. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, listening, reading, whatever you're doing with us. We love you. And as always, stay fierce out there.
Bye.